They can't do this, they can't do that, they shouldn't do this, they shouldn't do that, just in case. But then I feel like it's putting so much pressure on the women to say that it's their fault if anything happens, like they weren't careful enough. Like a lot of people are putting so much emphasis on that, but they're not really focusing so much on like the fact that these men are doing it.
The person who's committing the crime is usually someone that is very close to you. It's not a stranger. You will never think like, oh, how can a husband, how can a father, how can a mother, or how can a sister or brother rape someone else that is very close to each other. But actually it happens more often than whatnot, and people is really afraid to talk about it. Victims would never be able to get their way from that stigma, because once you are a stigma about a rape, you will be always a rape person, and people will say really bad things about you, why you didn't defend yourself, why you didn't do anything.
I guess rape culture would be how people perceive the idea of rape, and like has it become a norm. If it happens to a guy, they won't tell. They probably, the chances of them telling you that it happened is super low. Imagine this, I'm a guy, I'm telling this to my friend. My friend will be like, oh, you should be happy, you got some action, right? Like, why are you complaining? It may scar the guy. They're ashamed to do it because like, how could I, as a guy, get taken advantage of?
I have a friend back in Colombia who was really always shy around males, and she was always very afraid, she was always very shy, and the stress that the street puts you on, and the stress that tells you like, well, if you go to a club, your drinks are going to get spiked. If you go alone by yourself, you're going to be raped. So she was very affected by it. She had to go to therapy. She felt that she was always like less than men, that men were very powerful, that men had a power over her. I don't remember when I was young anyone telling me like, you should defend yourself if something happened. Instead, I'm told like, you should hide, you should go away, you should not talk with male. It's like telling me like, oh, if I go outside, I shouldn't talk with anyone.
Growing up, I guess as a guy, we're not told the same things, as girls for sure. Being a guy, I do get more privilege in terms of freedom. I have a younger sister, right, and she can't go out at the same time as me. You will wear more revealing clothes, and then that makes you a big target to all these, like men, who want to take advantage of you. They think you're easy in a sense, like because you are presenting yourself in that way. But the thing is, clothing should not be associated with that. She does adhere to it now, right? But then the thing is, she does have her own sense of style. And believe it or not, even though she wears a hijab and is covered, she's still a target. Sometimes it's not just about the clothing, but it's about, just you being a female as a whole.
Do you ever feel pressured by people that you have to behave some certain way?
Well, obviously growing up, there is this certain pressure-ish, kind of thing, like, oh, you're supposed to do this a certain way, guys are supposed to act a certain way, and so on and so forth. I don't personally follow that, but that's because that's me. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of guys who do fall into it, and they feel that they're hiding behind a wall, or they're too scared to, because then I'm not cool with my guy friends, and my guy friends won't accept me. Why is it such a bad thing to, be feminine and, have closer relationship with girls?
A lot of male are compelled to feel that they should be masculine, they should be very behaving this way, they shouldn't be actually feeling emotions, they shouldn't be anything like that. And I do think it's because of my father and my grandfather used to be like this. So I think it has to be more with previous generations. Yeah. Because of probably the war and probably all the issues that happened after the war, the recession, and how things that male had to actually man up. There should be a general consensus that it doesn't matter if it's a woman, it doesn't matter if it's a male, it doesn't matter if it's gay or lesbian, it doesn't matter whoever does it. The act of rape should be condemned, and it should be judged by as such, not regarding of gender or bias or race or culture or names or age or absolutely anything.